Hi and welcome to the Adelaide Horror Podcast. It's your host Zombie Joe. Tonight's episode is number 7 and I'm going to be covering 2020's Host. This is going to fall under the internet / ISO / Zoom horror. And it's also going to be an episode where I welcome to Australia the horror streaming service Shudder. So g'day guys and welcome to Australia. Thanks for coming. It's been a long wait, and but worth the wait. I've signed up with Shudder, and I think it's $69 for the annual subscription, and yeah, so it's pretty sweet. We've got until next year. It's not bad. It's cheaper than Netflix and the other stuff to pay for that. So yeah, $69 is pretty good. Yeah, so it's got a pretty decent amount of horror films and TV shows on there. The one that I was super keen on checking out was Creepshow. I watched one episode. In the one episode, it has 2 stories. This thing is an absolute love letter to the comic book. It even is done as a comic book. As I was going through it, totally loved it, and it's taken all the strength I've had not to binge watch this thing. I wanted to binge it so bad, and I thought, nah, I'm going to do an episode a week. I'm going to stretch it out and enjoy it, and really look forward to every week sitting down and watching a Creepshow episode. So I'm not going to be binging these films. I'm going to be stretching them out and enjoying them. So far so good. The only thing I was a little bit bummed about was that you can't get the apps on Samsung phones. It's not out on the new thing yet. I don't know about Canada and the US, whether they're available to do so, but yeah, we can't get the app over here. So at the moment, I've just got it on the laptop. So it's better than nothing, man. The wait's kind of over. We've been waiting for a while for Shudder, and I've been bitching about when Shudder's going to come to Australia for quite a while now. So yeah, and it's finally happened. So you know what, just take the early Christmas present. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, tonight I'm going to be talking about Host 2020, which is one of the, at the moment, it's the horror film on Shudder that everyone's kind of talking about, and it's had some really good reviews. And so I thought it's not too much hype, but it was enough to get me intrigued about the film. I was kind of worried going into this that it was going to be like every other bullshit internet horror film out there, like Unfriended and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, yeah, here we go. And I was actually, I wasn't going to say pleasantly surprised, but I was like impressed that it didn't go down that path. It could have easily done that, and it didn't. So the gentleman that was behind this, that directed it, was Rob Savage. He also wrote it, and he co-wrote it with another lady called Gemma Hurley. Both of them worked on a film called Dawn of the Deaf, which was 2012. I haven't seen this film, but I'm very interested in seeing it. It's about the sound pulses that affect normal hearing population of the world. The deaf population of the world, it doesn't affect them. So they've got to work together because the general population is, now I don't know what they mean by infected or affected. So it could be a zombie situation. It could be that they're psychotic. I don't know. But it seems to be this us versus them kind of premise, just involving deaf people as the survivors. So that would be interesting, using Aslan kind of sign language in a horror film. So after reading this, I just thought, wow, this is like a very intellectually well kind of movie. I thought this is pretty good. So I've definitely made a list of that, and I'm going to go hunt this thing down and try and watch it, because I thought, if these are the same guys that made this horror movie with deaf people in it, these guys have made a horror film involving Zoom. So it's good on you. Like, Rob, holy shit, like, good on you, mate. I owe you a beer. And same as Gemma, like, well done. Like, it's a good idea. It's, how do I, it's kind of like they've taken something now that's what's being used frequently and has made it scary, like Stephen King does. Now, the Stephen King's notorious for it, and what I mean by that is, you know, he's taken Cujo, for example, a Saint Bernard dog, which is essentially a rescue dog. It's there to help you, not fucking eat your face like it does in Cujo. You know, so it's that premise, you know, something nice, something that's there to help you, something that means safety, and it's turned on its head and it's made scary. Zoom is a communication tool that everyone is now heavily using because of our current situation globally, and it's now made it scary. Like, so, you know, I think it's great. Like, well done. Like, you know, really well done. The two movies that these two films are connected with are, and you can't avoid it, it's the Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity, right? You cannot avoid it. Like, if Mummy Blair Witch and Daddy Paranormal Activity got together and they loved each other and they gave a special cuddle, host is the kid of this situation. And I'm not going to say love child, but, like, you know, it's definitely, it's got the DNA of both movies in this thing, the setup of it, and that's what I liked about it too, because it wasn't ripping it off. But you could say, yeah, these two movies are connected. Like just the way it's set out, the pace, the suspense. I couldn't put it. It was on the tip of my tongue, and I thought, what kind of movie is this? It's not batshit scary. This isn't nightmare fuel. But I just couldn't, and I went heebie-jeebies. I said, that's what this thing is. It gives you the heebie-jeebies, right? And what I mean by that is I've just finished watching this movie. I'm now filming this, right? This is essentially what the host movie is about. It's just me going blah, blah, blah. And then something in the background, something scary happens. You know, like the fucking skull falls off or goes flying at the screen, or, you know, I swear to God, if this door opens fucking behind me and I go flying into the screen, yeah, ring up my mum. She'll sort it out. I was like, holy shit. So you're kind of creeped out. I'm waiting for this door to fucking open. It's our bedroom door and there's no one in there. So if it does open, fuck. Get the rosary beads out. So that's why I was really impressed about this. So usually what I do with the other episodes is I do the ratings, I do the gross and the worldwide, just the money and all that kind of stuff. Well, because it's a new movie and it's been released on Shudder, that information isn't available. So basically, IMDb gave it a 6 out of 10. I give it an 8 out of 10. Not because I'm angry at the IMDb. I just, yeah, that's what they've given it. Oh, well, you know, I'll give it an 8. It's really, really good. The runtime on this is 58 minutes, right? And that's including the credits. Well, the credits kind of... I'm somewhat confused because at the end of the film, it kind of... The computer's just like... The movie's like... The end screen, what you're seeing on the screen is basically a laptop. Like the mouse is still moving around and everything. You're like, what the fuck's going on? Like, you know, so who's on my fucking laptop? Like, you know, and because I watched it on a laptop, it made it even more like intense. Like, because I was like, whoa, like at that point. And that's what made this movie effective. And I think this is why everyone's kind of jumped on board and are absolutely loving the shit out of this movie. So it's used its current situation and the technology that we use in this current situation and made it scary, and I think it's fantastic. That's why I really, really liked it. So that's why I give it an 8 out of 10. The cast. Now, usually what I do is I go main character and go down the thing. I'm going to start off with The Entity. this is the guy's name is James Swanton, right? Now, this guy is pretty much, he plays a demon in the movie Salt 2017, and he plays the creature in Frankenstein's Creature, and he plays the entity in this thing. Now, I'm just saying entity because I don't want to spoil what it is, like, at all. So I haven't spoiled it. It's just the creepy ass entity in this film, right? You only see snippets of this guy, but when the snippets appear and then disappear, yeah, it's very well done. I can see why this guy gets picked to. Holy shit! I've seen the picture of him as the demon in Salt, and I've seen him as the creature in Frankenstein's Creature. Just Google it, like on IMDb, it's on there. Like you see the cover art and this guy's face. You're just like, Jesus, like, he really uses his physical appearance to scare the shit out of people. Like, it's well done. Like, you know, that was really, really well done. So that's why I wanted to mention him first, because he's kind of the star of the show. Like, there's enough suspense being built up, and then he just appears and then disappears, and you're just like hanging on. You're like, you're just really shaken every time he does that. So I thought that was really well done. The heebie-jeebiness level was quite high in this movie. So it's good. The reason why the heebie-jeebiness is high in this movie is because of the actresses involved, right? Now, you have 3 actresses that are all from the movie Dawn of the Deaf, right? They all know Rob and Gemma Hurley, and you can tell, like, because they just basically said to these girls, hey, this is the vision we see, and we want you to work with that. And they all work with that. And you can tell, like, they do a really, really good job with really good writing. Like, it was done well, and that's why this movie's good. So basically, you've got Hayley Bishop, right? Now, the other thing about these characters too is that everyone's name is actually their first name. So you could kind of, they're giving it that this is the Blair Witch thing. Is it real? Like, because in the Blair Witch Project, you had the 3 people, and the whole thing about the Blair Witch Project was it was found footage, and these 3 people fucking went missing for real. Like, I remember the hype of the Blair Witch Project. I bought the book. I fully got involved in it. I thought it was fucking real. And then it turned out it was just it wasn't. And this is like early internet as well. So you're just kind of thinking, what the fuck was... Like, you're like, well, good promotion, kind of for the film. And it did its job. Like, it did what it had to do. So I think that's kind of where they were kind of giving it that kind of Blair Witchy kind of thing, where it was like everyone, it's their actual names. Like, so Hayley Bishop, she's a US actress. She was in Dawn of the Deaf. She's done a few of the short films. And at the start of the film, it's her walking around the house, and she's setting up like her phone, and she's just walking around the house, and some stuff goes on, and that kind of got me questioning if something wasn't already there. Like, I that was just my thought, but it happened really quick, and I was thinking, oh, okay. I don't know if I was meant to pick that up, or I just happened to freakishly enough pick it up, because, it's laptop, it's a smaller screen. I kind of just happened to be looking at the right time, but I just kind of made a note going, something. And this is like not even a minute into the first opening act, really. She then sets up her camera. She starts talking immediately with Gemma Moore. She's a Hong Kong actress. But she's from the UK. Her accent was kind of throwing me off. I actually thought she was Australian. So when I was looking it up, and they were saying, oh, she's from the UK, but she was born in Hong Kong. I was like, nah, she's lived in Australia at some stage. I'm sure of it, because she had an Aussie accent. So yeah, I was kind of like, okay, I wasn't. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of still got me stumped a little bit. I looked on IMDb and hunted around, and it doesn't say anything about Australia whatsoever. It just says that she was born in Hong Kong and she's a British actress. And I was like, okay, I'll just leave it at that. Emma Louise Webb, she plays Emma, and you would have seen her in the TV show The Crown. Radina Drendova, she's a Bulgarian actress, and she was in Dawn of the Deaf. Caroline Ward is a UK actress, and she was in Dawn of the Deaf as well. And then we have Ellen Emeries, who's Ellen, and she's the boyfriend. He's the boyfriend of Radina. And then Edward, and you just see him briefly at the start of the film. And then there's Edward Arkad, and he's Teddy, and basically does stunt work at for the movie Vikings. So yeah, it's that's where you'd see him from. Well, I don't know if you'd see him, but you'd see backs of him or parts of him in action sequences. Selon Baxter is the Scottish actress. She was in the current season of Doctor Who. So I'm going to go back and check out who she is on Doctor Who. I don't remember seeing her, but I'm intrigued now, and I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. I actually liked her in this. So I'm pretty keen to see who she was in Doctor Who. So yeah, cool. And I'll just quickly get into the film, and just one moment. Cool. So yeah, so all the actresses involved. The other thing that I thought was unique about this movie is the fact that usually when you start a movie, like I've said before in episodes before, I refer to the ping pong talk where everyone says everyone and you get to know everybody and blah blah blah, and that's kind of like the ping pong dialogue that ends up occurring at the start of the film. Given the fact that this movie is only 58 minutes, it doesn't have that luxury. So, and I was trying to put my finger on what it was that I liked about this film and why it was effective like it is. And then I went, that's what it is. I thought, I'm sitting here on my laptop watching a movie called Host. It essentially feels like I am in a Zoom meeting with these girls, and that's what it is. Like, you are a part of this experience. Like, so you don't have to go, oh, I know these girls, or we've been friends for 20 something odd years. These girls have already got that rapport. You can already feel the rapport, and naturally you feel a part of it. Like, even though you've never met them, like, you feel like you're a part of the group, like you know them. And that's what I thought was unique and really well done. And the clever writing that Gemma and Rob have done. Like, they essentially, you feel like you know them, you're a part of it, and you're in on this Zoom meeting and they're going to have a seance. So you just feel like you're a part of it. And so you don't have to worry about the ping pong dialogue because you're just there as a part of this seance. And you're just clicking in on your little Zoom thing, and it's like they're looking at you and you're looking at them. And that's why I thought this movie was quite unique, how they've done it, because to do that, it's pretty good. Like, so that's what really impressed me with this movie, and that's why I gave it an 8 out of 10, and that's why I've decided to review about it tonight, was because I thought, here's another little horror gem that's jumped up, and kind of said, here I am, and stands on its own. And like I said, there's kind of similarities to the Blair Witch and the Paranormal Activity. And what I mean by that is, and I'm not really... there is kind of jump scares. Now, and before everyone rolls their eyes and goes, oh shit, the jump scare. Like, they're not tacky shit jump scares. They're placed well. And the reason why these are effective is that this movie has no music in it. Like, and that's the other thing as well, is it's basically a Zoom meeting. Like, so there's no fucking creepy music or any shit like that going on. So there's no cue when something's going to go on. You're visually going on something. Suddenly the girl's talking and then she's turning her head like this. So you're thinking, what's going on? Like, you know, it's no different than if I started doing it. You'd be like, what's the matter with Joe? Which is, people ask all the time. But, you know, it's, yeah, and that kind of starts creeping you out. And the backgrounds were fucking freaking me out too, because it's not well lit like this. It was just pitch black. And you could just start to make things out in the background. I'm thinking, is there someone there? Like, I think it's behind Gemma's character. The whole entire time, there's this black lump. And I thought, fuck me, if this thing does not stand up or suddenly have a head, like, I was waiting for that the whole time. And that's the other thing about this movie, is it builds up the anticipation. It builds up the heebie-jeebies. So this is what this whole entire film is about. It gives you the heebie-jeebies. Like, that's really what it's all about. So by the end of it, you're just all heebie-jeebied out. You're at peak heebie-jeebiness by the end of it. And that's what spooks you, and that's why this movie's effective. And I think this is why everyone loves this film so much. It's done really, really well. So you get a little sprinkle at the start, but the action starts at the 24-minute mark. So, like I said, it's a 58-minute movie, 24 minutes in, and it's go time. Like, this is when shit starts hitting the fan. It starts to get a bit weird, and I'm thinking, yeah, okay. So, yeah, so that's really it. I'm not going to go any further, because then I'll start spoiling it unintentionally, and that's definitely not what I want to do. So, cool. The only way you're really going to see this at the moment is on Shudder. So if you're like, I'm not spending $69 and joining Shudder, you're going to have to miss out. And just take my word for it that it's a good film, and then eventually, hopefully, if and when you can see this movie when it's available. If you're like, hell's to the yeah, holy shit, it's about time Shudder rocked up, and you're excited about it, yeah, $69 annual subscription, and you pretty much now can get cracking in on these other horror titles that are on there. And there's some really good TV shows. There's a New Zealand one that's jumping up at me. It's about these New Zealand warriors that are going to fight something in it looks really good. Like, it looks like you see some Maori warriors, and I'm thinking, holy shit, this looks really, really cool. There's Creep Show, which I was massively hanging out for. There's a doco with Eli Roth, the history of horror, and I was thinking, oh my god, this is like fucking Christmas, like this Shudder thing. So I'm really stoked about it, and so yeah, like I said, I'm going to slowly pace myself and just enjoy it, and just, you know, do an episode a week or something, and yeah, so this is kind of the Shudder, welcome to Shudder / internet / ISO / Zoom horror episode. And yeah, that's it. So this is the decent internet horror film that I think everyone was been waiting for. There's been some flops in the past. Let's forget that. Let's just say that Host now is the official Zoom / internet horror film. Like, that's it. So if you're thinking that genre or that subgenre, that's where Host will go, and that's why I'm saying to you, this is the movie to definitely check out. So it's in my top 5. Yeah, so it's I'm going to start accumulating these, because at the end of the year, what I would like to do is do, you know, the Adelaide Horror Podcast kind of top 5, top 10 movies of 2020, which is going to be interesting because not a lot of stuff is coming out. I've just recently heard the news too that Halloween Kills has now been bumped to 2021, which is not a surprise, given the situation, how everything's going globally. So yeah, it's what it is. I think everyone's health, and there's other major issues going on at the moment, so let's just focus on that first, and hopefully we're here in 2021 to see Halloween Kills. The teaser trailer for it is amazing. Like, that is so good. And really well done, and that's the only trailer I want to see. If they leave it like that, this movie's going to be a cracker. You can't go wrong. Like, it looks really, really good. So, cool. And that's it for tonight. So, thank you very much for listening in on episode 7. And cool. So, stay scary, and I'll see you next time in the crypt.